Hello and welcome. In this video I would like to discuss the only problem I have with this mobile rack stand. So if you're interested in having mobile rack stand at home, please stay with me. So generally I'm very happy with this mobile rack stand. It's working very well. It's easy to move around the house. I've got a panel floor, so that's really very easy to move. I can use it easily with my one hand, and although the lights are quite heavy, but still it's not a problem. If you have a bigger carpet, thick carpet, it may be of course not as easy. Then you will have to use both hands to move it, but generally moving it is very easy. It looks quite solidly built. But there is one problem I have with this mobile rack stand is that it's not easy to move it up and down for each session. Why it matters? Let's say if you have a family member who is much smaller or much taller than you, then of course ideally you would like to adjust the height of the whole therapy setup to each person. So for instance, if now the light is set up for me, then it's on this level, but let's say if my wife wanted to use it, I would have to lower it down for her because she's slightly smaller than me. To adjust the height of this mobile rack stand, you need to press two knobs at the bottom here, and then you need to of course lift this up or lower it down. And it is not easy task to do because it requires two people, and of course one person needs to hold this the whole therapy setup when it's lowered down or pull it up. So it's quite heavy thing to do. So as you see here, to move it up and down, I would have to press these two knobs, and then of course if I do it right now, it will fall down. Somebody has to actually hold the whole lights. So I would need to have two people to do it. And this is the only issue I have with this mobile rack stand. If it was any easier to do it, it would be marvelous. But of course, you know, this is what we have. So my solution for this problem is that you have two therapy lights and you set them up one on top of each other. And you set it up for the tallest person in your family, and then of course when the smaller person comes, they will still have full body treatment, but you know, some lights will shine above their head, and that's maybe a little bit of waste of electricity, but you know, this is the solution you can have with this mobile rack stand. If you feel like this is not acceptable, then you can always of course mount the lights on the door or on the wall and use the pulley system, and of course precisely lift the light up and down to your appropriate height. So in my opinion, mobile rack stand works perfectly well for two lights, but for having only one light, it wouldn't be a good idea. So if you plan to have one light only and do the therapy session for each members of your family, like for instance shining on top of your body and then lower it down to do the bottom part, that definitely using a mobile rack stand is not a good idea because you are not able to move it up and down easily. You need to mount it on the pulley system and it will work for you very well. As well, if you plan to have more than two lights, then this particular rack stand, which I converted from a TV stand, is not going to work as well because it doesn't have the appropriate clamps. But just for two lights, it's just about right. So my advice is, if you want to use two lights, that stand is good enough. If you want to use one light or more than two lights, like four lights in the future, then the other solutions are much better. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumb up, I really appreciate it. Share with your friends who would also benefit from this information. Check out my website for more information about red light therapy, discount codes, other lights I use and recommend. You can find link in the video description below. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.